Hello again and welcome to Let Me Be the One Eurovision show, and this episode is going to be the second radio show that I did all the way back in August 14th 2018, and I will be as I said before, no music here because of the way that my station operates and the payments are made to artists. So the way to actually find the show, I will spell it out here first of all so you know where to go. It's going to be a bit.ly code again, so it's bit.ly/LMBTO show 2, and that's the number 2, and that's the quickest way of getting there. I'm not going to read out the whole of the URL because it's got loads of hyphens and it's just a waste of my time. You're not going to type it out, so just do that, the bit.ly link, which is LMBTO show 2, or what you can do is go to the podcast sites that it's on, which is the one you're listening to, which could be any one of Podbean, Spotify, Stitcher, or something like Podcast Addict, which I tend to use on my phone. And I've got a big long list of other ones, but obviously this is to do with my radio show, so I'm going to be talking about that. So hopefully you've been keeping track of the other 2 podcast episodes that I've done so far. There was the introductory one, Let Me Be the One, that was just basically just telling you a bit about it, what I was going to be talking about in the blog and on the podcast. And then last time it was actually my first show, which was an introductory show. Now show 2, that, as I say, that was back in August, and that was on the 14th of August, and I started doing what I've tended to do quite frequently now in the radio show, which is pick up on what's been happening in the news and playing a song that goes along with it. So in show 2 it was sort of highlighting what was going on in the Eurovision close season, and obviously all us fans know that the close season, effectively some people count it as the morning after the grand final of that year, all the way up to, say, the first national final. Now I treat it probably a bit like sometime in June through to September the 1st, because of course we all know that September the 1st is when anything can be commercially released and then can be used for Eurovision the following year. So that's my definition of the close season. And back in August 2018 there was a few things that have been going on and gave me the opportunity to play some songs. Now remember that I was only had an hour show back then rather than the 2, so there was only let's have a look, 11 tracks plus an outro track, which, remember, I wasn't using Let Me Be the One quite then. I was using the Charpentier TDM prelude music, classical music, to play out the show. That changes soon. I can't exactly remember when, but I will mention when it does. So for instance, the second show, which you'll hear play yourself, I will explain, quickly go through the acts that were there. First of all, it was SuRie and Storm, obviously partly due to the fact that she was the UK entry in Lisbon, partly to the fact that she had done so brilliantly to fend off the stage invader, but mainly because she was in Bristol and she had a concert at the Redgrave Theatre, doing her Eurovision Unplugged tour that I went to, and she was excellent, and she always is, whatever show she does. Got some decent pictures, even got a YouTube video of her doing her mashup between Toy and Storm, and she really liked that one as well. So that's why I started with Storm. You'll hear that. The rest of there was one other UK artist. Second up was Daz Sampson. Now there was an odd thing happened when I was recording it, because I pre-recorded it. And then I listened back to it and I realised I didn't say who it was. Now, to Eurovision fans, it's obvious. It's Daz Sampson, Teenage Life. So I actually put a bit of speech from home in it. So it sounds a bit different. So you'll notice that. The reason I put Daz Sampson here, partly because I only ever wanted to play it once, it's not my favourite UK Eurovision track, is that he was being involved as a football manager, because he's been a scout, he's done coaching. He obviously does music. We all knew that later on in the season when he turned up at the Belarusian auditions with a song Kinky Boots. I can't remember who he was with. It didn't get any further, didn't make it into the national final, and I can't imagine it would ever have beaten Xena and Like It, but you never know. So that's why Daz Sampson was second up. Then we had, because X Factor Malta had been announced, I played a few songs from Malta. Firstly, EuroStarz Walk on Water, mainly because EuroStarz, as we know, was one of the 4 judges for the first season, and she is for the second season that's just started in, I'm obviously talking to you now in August 2019. I then played a couple of the artists who were rumoured, and one definitely did, to be going for audition for the X Factor process. First one was Janice Mannion with Cuba, which obviously was a Maltese language song and just missed out going to Eurovision, runner up in the national final she was in. And then Franklin Kalea played Stay, and obviously he tried out for San Marino's 1 in 360 in 2018, but missed out. We got to the final but no further, and unfortunately he didn't make it very far into the X Factor process. But at that time they were 3 solid names that I could play music with. That was pretty good. The next song you're going to hear when you listen to it is SuRie Maman and Hasaket Sheshina, and I absolutely love this song. It's one of my favourites. It's my 52nd show and my year anniversary coming up on Tuesday the 6th, which hopefully this will go out just beforehand, you'll be able to catch it, and I'm playing it then because it's such an amazing ballad and she sings it so wonderfully, and if you watch the YouTube video she looks so good as well. But at that time they were announcing that they're going to have Rising Star in Israel to find the an artist that was going to basically sing in host venue at that time. Did we know about Tel Aviv? I'm not sure. I don't think we did. So, but anyway, for Israel, and she was going to be one of the judges, a new judge on Rising Star, and that's the reason I played it. So it's quite fortuitous. Then we had the rest of the show was 5 different acts, and they were all acts that were going to be at EuroStarz. And the reason I played that was that EuroStarz 2018 was actually the following weekend, so I thought I'd play a song from each of the artists. So you had Scott Fitzgerald and Go, obviously that's the only Eurovision song that was there. Lindsay Dracus, No Dream Impossible. Linda Martin, I played Terminal 3 because I actually prefer that one to Why Me. Paula Selling and Ovi were there playing with Fire, and again that's my favourite of theirs. And then Esther Hart with One More Night, and those are the 5, and I trying to do that more and more as I went on, was trying to not only sort of theme it, but if there was a national final or something I was going to attend and I knew that there's more than one name that I was aware of, I'd play the songs just to highlight that these people were going to be there. So there's a lot less explaining to do about show 2 than show 1. Now show 2 is on my blog, so you can access it that way as well, eurovisionthroughtheages.blogspot.com. it's the August the 16th 2018 post, and it's got Esther Hart up front and central at Amsterdam Calling, I saw her there earlier in the year. It's the actual Mixcloud has got SuRie, her keyboard from the Bristol concert that I went to see, So yes, but that's basically the show, and it was a sort of nice show to have, a bit of a nice, one to just demonstrate what was going on between Lisbon and when I started doing my show. So, as I say, if there's the ways to access the show itself, I will have the link on the blurb, whichever podcast service you use. But if you go to bit.ly/LMBTO show 2, and you will find it there, and it will just automatically transfer you across to the Mixcloud. You can press play there, the artists get paid, and you can see all the information that comes along with it. So yeah, I think you'll probably enjoy it that way. And I don't think there's anything else. I'm just having a quick scan down all the notes I did for it. But yes, the only thing I will mention is that my social media. So if you want to put anything down about the podcasts or about the shows or about my blog, then if you go to either my social media, which is Twitter is at LMBTO Eurovision, Facebook is LMBTO Eurovision, and that will take you to either of the pages. If you want to look for me on Bradley Stoke Radio, which is where I actually recorded all of this, you can go to at Bradley Stoke FM, and that's for Facebook and Twitter, and that's Bradley Stoke FM, as you think it's going to be spelled. I do have an Instagram account, which I think is probably worth having a look at, and that's LMBTO_Eurovision. If you want to like this, go ahead. You can like it, you can share it, and if you go to the podcast, obviously you can subscribe. Then you'll get these all directly sent to you whenever they appear, rather than having to look out for them on Facebook or Twitter or wherever else I want to put them. But yeah, I think you'll enjoy the show. But have a look and have a listen. As I say, I particularly enjoy the music of this one, especially SuRie Ramon, and I'd probably say Paula Selling and Ovi and Esther Hart. They're probably out of this episode. They'd be my 3 favourites. So yeah, I'm glad you had a listen. Hope you enjoyed it again. And I'll be back again pretty soon. I'm going to try and catch up as quickly as I can, at least do 2 of these a week. So it might take half a year to get back up to speed, but hey, we'll get there eventually. And it's a way of going down memory lane. So hopefully you'll join me for show 3. So this is Martin from Let Me Be The One and Let Me Be The One blog, radio show, and now Let Me Be The One Eurovision show podcast. See you again soon.